In this video, I will share to you on how I made my first $100,000 in less than 4 years. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is John Ricci and I'm a chartered accountant. In this channel, I talk about investing, personal finance, and financial freedom. So please consider subscribing if you don't want to miss any future videos from me. In this video, I want to share to you on how I made my first $100,000 in less than 4 years. And if you don't know my story, I actually lost $100,000 day trading before I achieved this milestone. So I don't want you to think about me as somebody who is bragging or showing off my Ferrari or showing off my wealth to you guys, but I just want to show you and I just want to inspire you that anyone can do this. The strategy that I will show you is very simple. So this video is not a financial advice. This video is only for entertainment purposes only. So please do your own due diligence before you make any investing decision. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. First of all, I want to share you my why I actually wanted to get my first $100,000. And honestly, at the time, I actually didn't think about I want to make $10,000 or I want to make $100,000. So at the time, it was just something that I thought, something that I could do so I could get out of my financial situation. So I want to share to you a little bit about myself. I was born in Indonesia and my parents moved to Auckland, New Zealand when I was 15. So money was a very difficult thing in our household because as an immigrant, as a second generation immigrant, it was very difficult. And I remember back then, I think I was about 16 years old and I wanted to have some birthday present. So I asked my parents, I asked my mom and dad, hey, can I get something for my birthday present? And I remember at the time, my mom had this really sad face on her. And she said that, look, I don't really have much money. We don't have much money at the time, but I'm just gonna give you $20 because that was all she had at the time. It was only $20, guys. And I remember I went to Rebel Sport and I bought this Adidas wallet as my birthday present. It was not an expensive gift. Actually, I wanted to have something like a new Nike shirt or Nike pants or Adidas pants because at the time I loved all those sports stuff, sport brands. So I remember walking down to the store and I bought this wallet and I thought to myself, my parents can't even give me $50 for my present. And I was thinking, you know what? I don't want to go to another birthday. I actually wanted to buy the things that I wanted to buy. So this deep seed, there's a seed in my heart back in I was 16 that I wanted to make money. I do not want to have a limitation on what I wanted to buy for my birthday. So I had that seed in my life and things was not actually better. It went worse when I lost 100,000 of day trading. And at the time, the strategy that I used was actually buying a property. As simple as that. I actually did by buying my first property. So I will show you the numbers and the latest email I had with my mortgage broker, and I'll show you how I actually saved up my money to be able to buy my first property. Okay, I obviously blank out some of this information because these are confidential information and I blank out the address as well. But this was back on 15th of May 2013. So it's been a long time ago, like 7 years ago, 8 years ago. And as you can see, my KiwiSaver was about $9,200. KiwiSaver is some sort of like a superannuation in Australia, Australian superannuation. So New Zealand government at the time, they actually allow first home buyers to purchase their first property using their superannuation. And that's what I did. I actually had this saved up probably about 3 years. So what I did was I had to contribute every single pay from my own pay and then the employer will match it. I think it was about 4%. I put in 4% of my gross salary and then the employer matched another 4%. So there was like 100% return. So my suggestion to you is take advantage of what is it, the policy at the time so that you can speed up your property purchase, okay? And then at the time, the government gave $3,000. It's called the KiwiSaver Home Deposit Subsidy. And I remember this was back in 2013. Everyone talks about how the property prices was so expensive, how the property prices was overpriced. And guess what? In 2021, today, they are still talking the same thing. So 8 years ago, it was still very difficult to purchase a home. And I remember at the time, I think I was making about $50,000 a year, $55,000 a year. That was sort of my salary. It was not a big salary. I mean, it was a pretty good salary, but it was not like huge. And at the time, I only had $3,700. That's all the cash I had, $3,700. With a total, all of them is $16,000. And I think when I purchased this, I had another $1,000 saved up. So I had $17,000 that I used to purchase the property. Okay, so I will show you how much property I purchased. Okay, so I actually purchased the property for $319,000. That was the price I paid for. And I'll just show you the numbers here. And the property kept on increasing for over 10% per year. So I actually had an equity of $171,000 in 2017. Okay, so back then this was May 2013. So by May 2017, that was sort of how much my property was worth, because I actually revalued the property. So I actually used the numbers here, $467,000 in 2017. Okay, and then I used this Australian dollars. I just put some exchange rate so that you know how much was the Australian dollars equivalent of the NZD at the time. Okay, so my parents actually sold their business, so they gave me $30,000 to renovate the property because they were living at the property at the time. And I still had student loan of $20,000 because my parents couldn't afford my education, so I had to take student loan, and I still had 20 grand back then. Okay, so that brings me to net worth of $121,000. Okay, that was about $114,000. So this was my first $100,000, and this actually changed my life. This was the foundation of my wealth after that. It gave me a return on investment of 10% per year, and the cash on cash return was $124,000 because I put it $17,000. 4 years later, it became $124,000. And this is the beauty of property, because you can leverage. You took on more risk, you took on debt, but then your wealth can actually grow a lot faster than saving $100,000. For example, if you want to save $100,000, you need to save $20,000 every year after tax. Then it becomes $100,000. So whichever way you want to do it, it doesn't really matter as long as you get there. But the first 100,000 is actually the hardest, and it gets easier after that. Okay, so my cash on cash return was about 729% in 4 years. That's that's the power of leverage. I wanted to share to you a very interesting story, and I thought I'd share it to you when I purchased the property. Back then, I only had $17,000, so I could only purchase a $300,000 property between $320 to $330. That was sort of my price range. And the property that I wanted was a freehold property. Freehold property is a property where you don't share driveway, so it's not units. But then I couldn't afford it. Everything get very expensive, and 95% of property were sold in auction. And I needed 10% or even 20% of deposit to actually purchase or bid in the auction, which I couldn't because I didn't have the money. So I actually came across this property. So I had to narrow down my search from a freehold to a unit, sort of like a townhouse where I had to share driveway. So there were like 3 properties on the same lot, and I actually purchased the second one, like the one on the middle, because that was the only property, or there was the only price that I could purchase. So this agent actually advertised it on Thursday. I still remember on Thursday. She put it $319,500. So I actually called the agent. I said, look, I actually want to look at the property today. She had inspection on Thursday. And I remember that was like Thursday, it was sort of May, so there was kind of winter, it was raining, it was gloomy, and I told my mom, let's go and look at this property has a good price and I think we should buy it. So like I went to see the property and I was the only one. It was just me and my mom and the agent. And I was so interested because it was my price point. It was not a flash property, it was just a 3-bedroom property. And there was no even a car park, there was no garage. So we had to park the car outside. It was not like a pretty one, you know, it's not a brick and tile house. It was just like a weatherboard old house built in 1988. I told the agent, look, I'm really interested about the property. I asked my mom, what does she think? She think, yeah, it's not too bad. So I was like, okay, let's just go for it. I told the agent, look, we're gonna put an offer. We're gonna put an offer and I'm pre-approved, so I should be able to buy the property. So I told the agent, I am going to give you an offer and please close the offer before the next inspection on Saturday. If you can actually do this, you don't need to actually open for inspection on Saturday. And you know what? My offer was accepted, 319. So I actually didn't muck around, I didn't start low, I didn't go like 290,000 or 300,000. I just go bang, 319, close the deal, and I don't want any competition. So that's what we did. So we got accepted and the agent canceled the Saturday open for inspection. And guess what? That was my first property, but also that was the first property that the agent sold. I actually knew this years after. She actually sent us some wine and we were like, you know, we were pretty stoked about it. And then she was like, you know, thank you guys. You know what? The property I sold to you guys was actually my first property. And I was like, wow, it was my first house. It was her first property. And it's been like 8-9 years and she's been very successful in her real estate agent business. She's very successful now. So that was just an interesting story that I thought I'd share. And the lesson that I want to share to you is when you see an opportunity, go for it. Don't think too much, you know, what if this or what if that. When you have done a lot of research, you know the area of the property you want to buy, just go for it. All right, guys, just to summarize, that's how I made my first $100,000 just by purchasing a property in a good location. And because of the leverage, it became $400-something thousand in 4 years. So it was not a complicated strategy, and I think it's pretty low risk. If you are buying your first property, if you are a first home buyer, I think it's pretty wise to actually build equity that way, just to start off, while you are actually also investing in shares or crypto. That's just my personal opinion. So it's a very simple strategy, and equity, in my opinion, is the same as cash, because if I sold that property at the time, I would have got $100,000. So please let me know what you think about this video. I would love to connect with you in Instagram. Please DM me. If you got any questions or anything I can help you with, please let me know. And thank you very much for listening to me until the end. And please don't forget to like, subscribe to this video, because I would love to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2021. So thank you so much for listening to me until the end. I will see you guys in the next video.